Astrology Roast. I think it needs to sound like a shitty intro, like a funny shitty intro.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Astrology Roast. My name is Karen.
My name is Itai and we're back.
We are back and I'm sure you can all hear that my voice is extra sensual. I have been sick, so flowers, well wishes would be most appreciated. I am on the mend, so thank you. But yes, I am a bit unwell, but you know, we still show up every single fucking fortnight. Me and Itai hustle and show up, and we just never really stop, do we?
We do. We will never stop. And also I think now is the time to do our mandatory apology for background noises that we usually have on our podcast, because it's a full budget that we get from ourselves. So there's a party at Karen's house, is there?
It's not a party. I think my housemate has a couple of friends over and they're just drinking and chatting about their lives. You know, they're having like a normal Saturday afternoon. So I'm obviously sitting bunkered in my bedroom looking up plants on Facebook Marketplace, but they're just having a nice time. So it's probably a normal amount of chatter, but you know, it is Virgo season. My housemate's a Virgo, so I just want to respect that and let her have, you know, all of the fun that she deserves, and also to let her hair down, because we know that Virgos don't really give themselves that time, but when they get wasted and when get on the, you know, on the piss, then they can let their hair down. So I'm letting her have that. My friend did just come visit me, Lauren, the luscious Leo. She did venture into the main living room, and she said that the friends who are over are all very good looking. So if I was going to leave before she mentioned that, I'm definitely not going to leave the room for the next few hours now that Lauren has mentioned that. So I'll be in my bedroom for the next little while, because there's hot people having a party in my house.
I think you're the normal one.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, it is Virgo season and it is the Virgo time to shine. But you know what? As you were speaking, I was thinking about the fact that I'm not sure whether they really enjoy being center of attention, like, and having a party for themselves, or they would like better, I think, is being disappointed and then experiencing that. I feel like a Virgo will enjoy better a conversation of them telling you how they disappointed in you, and like, oh, I really expected this big party, or this just acknowledging of my birthday. I think they love that more than an actual surprise party.
Wow, and it's such a transition. Like, we've just come from Leo season, which is, you know, a month of all of your Leo friends relishing in the attention and the limelight and all of the parties and the glamour and the glitz. And then it chugs along to Virgo season, and it is about, you know, service and acts of giving, and also keeping those receipts when you haven't, you know, been up to the mark and you've disappointed your Virgo friends. And, you know, you're going to have a lot of points in your diary for your Virgo birthday parties. They're already scheduled in, so you're probably already back to back have Virgo parties on the go, and boy, will they be disappointed if you don't show up in the way that you should. So it's a very different season, but I do appreciate this season because Virgos, you know, we do make fun of them a lot, and I'm sorry about that. I'm pretty sure all of them have stopped listening to us anyway, so we've got a bit of a free for all. But Virgos are very analytical. They love attention to detail. They're thorough, and they are really they are people that love to be of service and small acts of kindness and service. And speaking of Virgo housemates, so my housemate, she just came up to me before and she said, "Hey, Karen, you know, I've got this little screw because I know that your doorknob is fallen off and isn't working, and I found this screw at work and I thought that maybe it will fit and it could be the right size and you can then fix it." Me being the chaotic Gemini that I am, of course, like, you know, that wasn't going to be fixed for the next 5 years. So
Never.
it never. And so we're both ruled by the same planet, Mercury, but it just goes to show Virgos are very thoughtful and they pay attention to the little things. And sometimes, yes, they can be disappointed when you can't be as thorough or as appreciative as they would like. But it comes with their analytical, beautiful, brilliant minds. So
Yeah.
we love you.
That's why for Virgo season, your best friend is Google Calendar. And this is not
Yes.
sponsored. This is not sponsored yet, but just, get this app and put everything in your diary.
And Ethan, would you say that I would say Google Calendar's already your best friend. You're obsessed with it.
Definitely.
You send me Outlook calendar invites for every podcast episode that we do and multiple reminders, and I thoroughly
Yeah.
appreciate it.
On times where my Virgo moon is like more present, like at busy times, or is like at times where I feel a bit, like I need that extra safety for my soul, I
Yes.
schedule like 15 minutes chats, I'm like, oh, when I go back from work, when I walk from work to my apartment, this would be a good time to give my friend a call, that person
Wow.
that I was meaning to call. And I would schedule that into my calendar. Yeah. So,
Wow.
Virgo moon, what can I say? It ain't
And
fun.
No, but I can safely say that the fact that you have a Virgo moon and an Aries sun and all of the other components of your chart, that is 100% the only reason this podcast has not only existed, but has continued for as many episodes as it has. I rock up, I chat, I have a great time and I love it, but your attention to detail, your Google invites, they keep this beast running on, made from love and not from money. The other
Thank
day,
you.
so you just sent me a WhatsApp yesterday, and I laughed because I was meant to send you something. I had agreed to send you a file, and you sent me this really restrained and respectful WhatsApp saying, "Hi, I know that you're going to send it. Just a reminder," smiley face. And I was like, oh my God, of course I've completely forgotten in the chaos of my daily existence. And I've got a lot of days off from work. Like I'm not someone that's so busy that I should be so chaotic, but the mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually right now having this thought about am I in your headphones?
Yes.
Good, I'm just checking, just to make sure, because if I wasn't in your headphones, then the recording wouldn't be perfect as it should be.
Yes. So you're double checking all these things, which I appreciate.
But the problem with that's the thing, the problem with having placements that are so dear, I don't know if it's a problem, but the Aries sun and the Virgo moon, they don't get along at all, because even a few days ago I had this argument with a friend, and my Aries sun really was present, and I was a bit more aggressive than I wanted to be. But then the second it finished, my Virgo moon was like, I need to fix this. I can't. Like, Virgos really care what other people think about them.
Yes.
Like, they really care about their image and the way that they're perceived. In some areas, like, I don't think they would care about what people think about their house, but they would care about what people think about their personality. So, and I was like, I have to fix this. I have to talk to her. I have to, like, I couldn't move forward and focus on other things. So I think it's a fucked up mix having Aries and Virgo placements together.
No,
Anyway.
but it's beautiful. I think it's great, and I think you balance it out with all of the air signs and the other fire signs that you have in your life, because it's just to be balanced out. And I think so, yes, the Virgo moon that you have is the reason why this podcast happens every fortnight and has continued to happen. But I think the fact that you've got some other strong, airy people in your life and fiery people in your life allows you to sometimes loosen up from that attention to detail as well. So I think it's good. We all complement each other. And, that's what this podcast is about. It's about getting along.
Yeah, that's why I make sure that when I live with people or do a creative project with them, they're an air sign. So you're gonna, during this Virgo season, you're going to have a dream of yours come true. Am I right?
Yes, you are. Thank you for the reminder and the segue. That's, again, indicating what we just talked about. You're like, oh, Karen's forgotten about this. I might give her a gentle little nudge, not asking for anything, not asking for any gratitude, just a little nudge in the right direction.
And then
but
Karen
yes,
the Gemini, instead of taking the nudge, will go on a rant about it.
yes. Look, I've gone on a lot of rants. It's been a real ranty couple of weeks. But anyway,
It's good.
yes, you're right. I am. So a little while back, I spoke about, one of my dreams, which was to be flown to Sydney for a conference. So that's one of my, I would say, childhood dreams, my girlhood dreams. But another dream of mine is going to come to fruition, Khamsa, God willing, on September the 6th. So there is a wonderful festival that's coming to Melbourne called the Festival of Jewish Arts and Music. And I have been asked to facilitate a panel of some incredible artists. And, you might be asking, well, has it always been your dream to be part of the Festival of Jewish Arts and Music? The dream wasn't so specific. The dream has been to be on a stage, chatting. I'm just having a chat and having a laugh, and I've got a microphone, potentially a headpiece, and I'm wearing a turtleneck, and I've got lipstick on, and maybe I've had a spray tan, maybe not, and I'm sitting in a really comfortable chair, and I am just chatting and having that uproarious laughter, and it's all very dim, flattering lighting, and Esther Perel's a guest, and it's just a really nice time, and it used to be my dream to be particularly on a show called Q&A, which is a politics, current affairs show in Australia. And sometimes they do get guests on who are the people's guests. So they'll have like some politicians and some activists, and then they'll have some schlepper from, nowhere to represent the local area. So it was my dream to be that person on that show, but it hasn't really reached there yet. So I will be facilitating a panel. There's some amazing people on the panel. I'm super intimidated. There's going to be Zachary Drucker, who is one of the producers and consultants from Transparent, which is one of my most favorite shows ever, ever, ever. It's wonderful.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And it is a show that explores so many themes in such a funny, smart, humorous way. I could go on forever, rant. But she will be one of the guests. Also, Assis de Orange, who is a drag artist from Israel. We've got Israel Aloni, who is a choreographer from Israel, and also Lee Kaufman, who is a writer. Like, I'm losing it. Like, that wasn't part of my dream. But I'm very excited to be part of this festival. I'm very honoured. So it's Virgo season, so I will be doing the kilometres needed. I will be doing the hard yards. I'm going to read a book because one of the panellists is a writer. Now, I don't read, but I will be reading her book. So look, let me know if you'd like to come. It's a wonderful festival. There's some amazing performers over and above that panel session. So yes, That is happening. It's my dream, but I will be wearing a turtleneck and some lipstick for the event. So that's the main dream.
Earrings.
Hoop earrings, exactly. Yes, you know the vibe. For anyone that came to the Astrology Roast live show, you would have seen me living out my dream already. So, if anyone says to you, hey, you can't make your dreams come true, you 100% can. You can just hire out a place and put on a show and send out Facebook invites, and you make your dreams come true. But sometimes other people can make your dreams come true as well.
Yeah. And for the organizers of the festival, you couldn't make a better choice than putting a Gemini on a panel, like to host the panel. Yes, they might not talk about the topic that you want them to talk about. So the Jewish area and the arts area of that festival might not be covered. But some topics will be covered, and I'm sure it will be really interesting to anyone that would watch it.
That's my biggest stress, is keeping to time and giving everyone equal amount of time in the spotlight to share their work. That was the biggest stress. But talking, that's not a struggle for me, and talking to others. No. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, as I said, I make sure that on every creative adventure that I go on, and every apartment, there is an air sign. So I've been looking for a new place in Israel, even though it pains my heart to imagine myself living in a place where you are not my only other roommate.
Oh, you say that to all of the roommates. I hear you. I know. I know that this is just the words that you sweet talk everyone.
No, it's just for you. But
Okay.
so I've seen a few places, and I wasn't even trying, but they were all air sign, specifically Aquarius and Gemini, and it really made my decision difficult. And I'll share two stories, and then the one that I might go on. So the first one that I saw was in a really like a rustic neighborhood. I don't know if rustic is the right word, but it was like a shit neighborhood. Maybe that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think rustic is like Tuscany, Italy, Rome,
Oh no, the
Florence.
opposite.
Not
The opposite.
not
Think
near the
more.
central bus station of Tel Aviv where people are waiting to have, the legal right to stay in the country and there's, urine smell everywhere. No.
Exactly.
Not rustic.
So
Wrong word.
so it wasn't rustic. It wasn't like romantic. It was more like the other, like after the romance, where the
Yeah.
pain comes.
Ooh.
So
For some people that is the romance. Hint, hint.
oh, it's true. So the apartment was with an Aquarius, and they kept dropping hints all the time about this kind of like cult that if I'm gonna take this apartment, I'm gonna be a part of a cult. And that wasn't like the thing that made me question the whole thing. It was like super overpriced. But then they go, like, yeah, but this apartment is one of these like community that you get the benefits of being in the community. Like, they fix your everything in your house, they fix it, and the Wi-Fi comes from there, and there's like meeting rooms that you can book. And I'm like, what? I was like, I couldn't find the theme of everything that they offer in the community. I was like, anyway, it was really scary. The reason why I didn't take it at the end wasn't because of the cult. That I couldn't find them online, even the name of the cult. I was like, if I'm going to join a cult, I want it to be something that everyone knows. I want it to be a household name cult.
Seriously. And also, I feel like cult leaders are really hot. So, like, if the cult leader slash, lived on the area, or your housemate was the cult leader and they were really hot, then that might be a good option. But if they're not one of the hot cult leaders, then what's the point, really?
Exactly. If you're going to tell me to go and murder someone in your name, like, you have to be hot for me to agree.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. But, it's still an option. If you're listening to this and you have a cult that you were counting on me to join, don't lose your hope. Like, I might still do it. Then the other person was another Aquarius. And they were really like a replica of my dad. It was almost like, I live here, I'm never here, but my workstation is in the middle of the house, in the middle of the shared room.
Yeah, so I'm not around when you need me, but I'm also really impacting your life in a negative way all of the time.
Yeah. It was like one sentence was, we don't really split bills, like we just pay, like you pay whatever you pay. Like if you buy something, then you don't need to tell me and I'll pay you back. Like we share everything. And then it was like, this is my room, but like she wouldn't show it to me. It was like this like really dichotomous, is that a word?
Yes.
Anyway, I was like, no, thank you. Like, I already have one dad, and then other dads as well, other daddies.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the last person, which I'm supposed to sign a contract with, Khamsa, God forbid, Fi, is that a Gemini that was really lovely. And when you show an apartment in Tel Aviv, there's like 10 people coming to see it together. It's like The Bachelor.
Oh.
So basically, there's the person that stays in the apartment and they say, I'm showing it tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then at like 7:30, there's already a line outside of the apartment.
So how do you make sure that you're the one that gets the rose?
So, I was like, and every time I go in there, I put my Natalie Portman face on, and I'm like,
Beautiful.
okay, I'm just gonna be like in a reality, when they do the interviews, and I'm like, I didn't come here to make friends. I just,
Yes.
I came here to find love. And when the second I saw him, I knew I'm gonna do everything it takes to
Oh my God.
yeah. So this is my state of mind when I get there, like eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
But I can't be too obvious about it because I have an Aquarius. I think actually, and I'm not just joking here, I think my Aquarius rising really helps me out because people with Aquarius rising, they have this kind of like mysterious thing about them.
Yeah,
And
you
they
do.
also, yeah, and we also have this, people can project a personality on us and it
Yes.
doesn't matter. Like, it's not everyone with Aquarius rising, you can see whatever you want in them. You can project it onto them. You want them to be like a smart person, you want them to be a socially aware person, whatever you want them to look like. So I just go in and I do a little walk, and then and then I ask the person like, oh, what's your star sign? And they go, wow, no one asked me about, everyone just asked me about the bills and, and what I like.
Wow.
And I'm
It's
like,
your
yeah,
party
nah.
trick.
Yeah, and then I make a joke about like, I can't live with a Scorpio. Because like I know they're not a Scorpio, and also I actually can't live with a Scorpio, so I don't mind saying that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be, I hope I'm gonna sign the contract and live with a Gemini and keep that Gemini streak.
Do you think a Gemini is going to remember to give you the contract? Like, do you think that there even is a contract?
Well, we said we said that we're gonna live together on Sunday, and now it's Saturday, and I don't have the contract. So
Okay. So you might want to investigate that further, just as one Gemini to another. They're not so good with the attention to detail, but I'm sure he'll be really thrilled to have you. And I love that you refer to finding an apartment as similar to The Bachelor, because I know that I am knee deep in the Australian version of The Bachelor right now, and one of the contestants, when he meets all the girls for the first time and they all try and wow him, and similar
yeah,
to you, Itai, you said you just do your little walk and then you do your party trick, which is asking about star signs. So he went up to this girl, she's got crazy curly hair, and he goes, hi, I'm Tom.
Matt or Tom, yeah.
Matt, I
It's
think
always
it's
Matt.
Matt. Oh, it's definitely Matt. Hi, I'm Matt. And she goes, hi, I'm blah, and I'm a Gemini. And he goes, oh, I'm a Leo. And let it be known, a couple of weeks later, sorry to spoiler alert if people are still catching up, the Gemini and the Leo Bachelor, like, they have had crazy, wild chemistry. And she pashes like a Gemini. She uses all of herself, all of her hands. And I know that way well. But yes, so they have a lot of chemistry. She's going to get kicked out. But similar to you, Itai, she's like, my only reason to be here is for Matt. He's the only reason I'm here. My eye is on the prize. I don't care about making friends.
Well, it's nice to see a Gemini that is consistent at least.
Yeah, it's paying attention. It's quite strange.
Also, my Virgo moon has to go back to that story and give you the details, because the whole joke about that story, and that video is on our Instagram, is that she goes, what do you do? And he says, I'm an astrophysicist. And then she goes,
Yes.
oh, cool, I'm a Gemini. And then him being like the Leo, like the taking control of the situation and like Prince Charming, instead of correcting her and saying, no, I'm not an astrologist, I'm an actual like scientist shit, whatever, he goes, oh, great, I'm a Leo. And he just lets her have her mistake. And a few weeks later, they're having crazy sex. So
Look, I don't know if they were in the tub. You always know it's very sensual when they're in the tub together and chatting about, what they want from the future and if she wants kids.
well, in Glee, they teach you. In Glee, they teach you that if you're having sex in the tub, then the sperm can still swim and gets you pregnant. So
Yes, I heard that as well growing up, but yeah, so I don't think I went a lot in the pool, in public pools, for so many years.
Well, if we're already in the realms of sexuality, then there's also a good segue to a topic that we wanted to bring up as well, which
Yes.
is BDSM. So,
Okay.
you know,
Okay, I think you
you know
need
how
to
much
break
of
that
a
down a bit because that sounds much more extreme. It's not, this isn't turning into like an educational segment on BDSM. I was
no.
out with some work colleagues from one of my 7 jobs, and one of the colleagues who's an Aquarius, who's like 23 or something like that, super woke, super wise, she told everyone that was out for after work drinks that she had done recently a survey or an online quiz similar to the love languages quiz, but it tells
Love a
you,
good online quiz.
love a good online quiz, and I learned there were so many ones that you can do, but she said that she'd done one which gives you your BDSM profile. So we all thought, hey, what a laugh. This will be fun. Let's do the quiz. We did the quiz with a bunch of like hipster cool woke people, and everyone got all these interesting things saying that they're into rope or kink or being, dominated or being a voyeur or being, sadist or being a slave or whatever it is, all these words that I had to look up privately. And I got, as part of my BDSM profile, like 67% vanilla. I'm vanilla. And like it was so sad because like, unlike all of the other profiles, it said on my thing, oh, it's not that bad. Plenty of people are vanilla. Vanillas match with other vanillas. You enjoy
It's just
regular,
annoying.
standard sex.
Okay, first of all, I want to say I think it's the annoying part is that part of my brain that knows that it is okay to be vanilla and it is okay, like it's genuinely okay to be whatever you want sexually.
I agree.
If you get most pleasure from vanilla, then that's sexy, then that's sexual, then that's your full sexuality. Like
I agree. But you
then-
can imagine in a social setting being competitive and just wanting to fit in with, peer pressure, which is my biggest pressure, and just being, all of a sudden everyone that's younger than you and more open-minded and progressive and seems to have their shit together, they get all of these cool, sexy things. And the worst, I got some sage wisdom from the Aquarius telling me, babe, don't worry, like my partner's vanilla and like got vanilla and we're working through it, like sometimes it's just about
Yeah.
feeling safe and like what you're exposed to. And like, yes,
But
I agree with
also-
that. But I mean, for a party trick, you don't want to get vanilla.
Yes, but then if we take our astrology take on it, ooh, someone's singing their lungs out.
There's a party at my house. Everyone is invited. I'm in my room. Save me.
If we're taking the astrology take on it, and we can say that, first of all, you also got really close to that. Your percentage was switch, yeah? Which
No,
is like
my other
playing-
percentage was non-monogamous. So how I interpreted that was that, yes, I might be vanilla, but if I'm with a partner that's into all those things, go. Do your bad thing. Live your life. Give me a night off and let me watch The Bachelor and you can go have fun. I don't care. And
but
it's all
as-
good.
So my point was basically that, wow, what's happening in your apartment?
I don't know. I think someone's chopping a tree or moving. I don't know. I think when
that a Virgo
good-looking
birthday?
people get drunk, it's hard to know what happens. Like I think they just start smashing things and singing, and I don't know.
Okay, so my point was that you're a Gemini. A Gemini being a vanilla is literally the ultimate Gemini because it means, think about it, when you want to like, these places like the Baskin Robbins or Cold Stone where they mix stuff into your ice cream. So like you take the vanilla ice cream and then you put a Mars bar, you put M&Ms, you put Snickers, you put whatever you want in it. And that is, the vanilla base is a good base to add anything to.
Well, I think that's a very generous interpretation of scoring vanilla on a BDSM quiz.
Yeah, so obviously
I appreciate
had to
it.
take- obviously I had to take the quiz as well, and I think I
Yes.
got. And you know what? I'm just inspired now to do a series of all the signs as the definitions, because I think my definition is the most Aries definition you will ever hear,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that is I got 97% brat.
And 97%, like that is uncanny. That is like
It's literally, yeah,
all
it's like
brat.
you don't have any other parts of your personality. You're a brat. And the I'm gonna read the definition. Brats are, in essence, naughty submissives. They find disobedience a form of playfulness rather than letting their dominant down, and require a compatible dominant who will not only teach them a lesson, but also accept that any number of lessons might still not necessarily change the behavior. It's
Wow.
like, yeah, I can't be tamed.
Wow. So can I read out mine then? Because I gave a bit of an example
Yes.
of it, but I'll read it out word for word. So vanilla. Vanilla people enjoy regular, standard sex and relationship models. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you're having fun. Vanillas typically match well with other vanillas. So Itai, I'm sorry, I appreciate your, vanilla ice cream Snickers example of adding all the Smarties and whatever to the ice cream, but that's not really what this framework or model says. It says vanilla with vanilla. So there's no Snickers, there's no Smarties,
true.
there's no freckles, there's nothing in it. It's boring as batshit. And it is.
my God.
Anyway, I am that's being very judgmental, because I know that there is a really strong and active vanilla community that potentially
You're
listens to this.
talking,
Potentially
you're talking
listens
about
to
your own experience.
No, I'm going to do it again
okay.
because I was told, I was in a rush, and I was told that it's good to do the quiz whilst thinking about practicing some of these kinky things with someone with whom you feel very safe with. So I think I want to do it again and have that in mind instead of just being in the vanilla category. And if I'm still vanilla, or if I'm more vanilla once I redo it, then so be it. That's fine. But I want my
Yeah.
redo. I want my
I love
redo.
also how they preemptively in the description for vanilla say there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Like,
exactly.
why?
Yes. No one said that about brat. No one said there's nothing wrong with being a brat. No,
Oh my God!
it's inherently good.
Sarah Silverman has this point where she makes like a joke where she goes that she hates when people tell girls that they can do everything, like they can do anything they want, because she's like, why would it's like when you tell someone, oh, you can do anything you want, is like you assume they think they can't do anything they want.
Exactly. Saying
And then
nothing
she
is
goes,
wrong with it means something is wrong
Yeah.
with it.
She goes, it's like me telling you, yeah, just go take a shower. I'll definitely not gonna read your diary. Like I'm definitely not gonna do it. Like, and it's so true. Like, why would you say something that you're not gonna do? Why would you make a point of it?
Wow, you brought my mind to the number of times I've said on dates with people, when I go to the bathroom and I leave my bag there, I just go, feel free to look through it. It's fine. And then I walk off, and this is the first time I might have met the person, and I don't know, I just think it's funny every time. It's more about me than them, but I just really I want them to feel comfortable, but I think it makes them feel less comfortable.
Or maybe they think, oh, would she look through my bag if I
Well,
went to the
that's
toilet?
it. That's exactly what I want them to not know. I want them to think, will she or won't she look through my bag,
And then if they leave their bag, then that they're interested in, like, I don't know, discovering the real you. But if they take their
Yes.
bag, then you know that they're scared of you, as they should.
Exactly. And is that a vanilla comment or practice? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything vanilla
think so.
about it.
And if it is, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with looking through people's bags as a vanilla woman.
Not on a date. Well, so as always, we encourage you to go online and do the test, and obviously share your results with us, with letting us know as well what your star sign is, so we will know to interpret the data and come back with results to all of the listeners.
And can I
Now-
just make a point as well? So just look up BDSM profile, and you should find the quiz, but we will post the link as well. But this is a really fantastic quiz to do as a discussion opener with your lover or your partner. So if you let's say you're not vanilla like me, not a proud vanilla woman, but if you want to open up these discussions or start understanding what these terms mean, and to be honest, like I didn't know 99% of what those terms mean, which makes sense now because that's why I got vanilla. But if you want to find, have a chat with your partner or your lover, it's such a great opportunity, like to, if your partner, for example, is getting 97% daddy and you've never had that kind of experience with them, or if they're getting 96% brat like you got, well, what a great chance to talk about what they may or may not want to invite into the lovemaking.
And it's so annoying because this whole area of BDSM is, I feel like so many of us have these fantasies, tendencies, wants, needs, and we're so scared to put them in words because you're so scared of the reaction. And then you might be, and this is not like an extreme example, but you might be in a relationship with someone that is interesting in those things, and you too, and you're just too embarrassed to tell them.
Exactly.
So maybe I'll just read the list of options you can get just to get people more curious to go online and check it. But so if you have brat, you have degradee, submissive, you have prey, primal prey, rope bunny, which is my fifth. I'm 78% rope bunny. I don't even know what it is. Sounds fun. Voyeur, is that voyeur?
So voyeur means that you watch, you like watching people.
Oh wow, that's okay. I gotta get into it. There's
I like that one because
switch.
you're sitting down. You're sitting down.
Oh yeah, and you don't need to participate.
That's my vanilla take on it. That's my vanilla take on being a voyeur. You sit in a comfy chair and you just have a look. Have a look.
You come in, you go. You
Take it all in. Take it all in. Exactly.
Well, we have non-monogamist, which is
I got that very high, very high.
Exhibitionist, age player. We got vanilla down there.
Okay, all right.
Boy/girl, daddy/mommy, dominant, degrader, primal hunter, brat tamer, which is my ultimate compatibility. So if you're a brat tamer, looking for a brat to tame, and then there's oh my god, and then there's rigger, and then there's master.
Okay, so
or mistress.
And now you just heard a dog barking as well, so there's a huge party. But I think I might take this opportunity as well to do another random segue. But you just mentioned that brat. So you're brat, or you got very highly, you scored as a brat. And
97% proud brat.
Yes, okay. And you're compatible with brat tamers, ideally, right? And I might say as well, so this week, just to bring it back to astrology, because I know that sometimes we do forget that, in the next few days on either side, depending on where you are in this planet, Mars and Venus, so Mars being the traditional representative of the masculine energy that lives within us all, and Venus being the traditional representation of the feminine energy. So Mars and Venus are actually joining together in the sign of Virgo, and that's a really interesting time. So you just made me think about it because you said brat tamer and brats. So this is a time when soulmates and twin flames, when that kind of energy is going to be really hyperactive. So if you are a brat and you come across your brat, long lost brat tamer from many lifetimes ago, don't be surprised if it's kind of now, or if you're a vanilla like me and I, happen to run into, normcore vanilla love of my life who's in a bookshop, getting Who Ate My Cheese or something like that.
Instruction books.
Yeah. Don't be surprised. And this, so every 2 years, Mars and Venus aligns. And I think what's beautiful about this duality is that we all have Mars and Venus energies in our chart and also in us. So we all have the masculine and the feminine and everything in between. And when those things come together in beautiful symmetry, it can be a really lovely, lovely time for the collective and also for the individual. So if you're finding that you're more attracted to analytical, intellectual, earthy types, because it is the Virgo energy that's influencing this movement or transit, don't be surprised by that. Or if you're attracting, you're into rope, you're a rope bunny, and you find someone that's really got some good technical skills or owns a rope factory, it's not a coincidence. It is part of the energies of the current time. So just enjoy it. It's very playful and it's a very beautiful energy, and it's one of symmetry and Mother Earth and nature kind of coming together as one. So what a hot time to be alive.
What a hot time to be alive. The age of Aquarius, where
Oh my God.
boundaries are non-existent and you could do whatever the fuck you want.
I know.
All that with the benefit of a fast internet and communication skills.
Oh my God.
So, one of my friends that is very like socially, not nature, like environmentalist, she was like, they're going to swap the internet in Israel from 4G, which is like the fastest, to 5G, which is faster. And then she's like, but no one knows, like no one researched it. And also that's shout out to one of my favorite Leos, that is my friend that said that, which also is a listener of the podcast. Anyway, so she goes, they didn't research it, so they don't know what the effects, they don't know if it's going to give us cancer, they don't know if it gives us a tail, like no one knows. And I was like, wait a second, does that mean I'm going to have faster internet? That's all I heard. And she was like, yes, but that's not the point. I was like, that is exactly the point.
It's really funny that you say that, because firstly, in my new room, I have the internet modem for my share house in my room. So I'm pretty sure that aliens can now read my thoughts because of all of the frequencies in my bedroom at night. So that's something that's been really sitting with me, and I've been trying to lean into that discomfort of having internet Wi-Fi waves and potentially aliens and chemical companies reading my mind. But second to that, you talked about, we are in the age of Aquarius, and we are in, possibly the most dynamic, rapid, crazy times of ever. And that is a fact, a hard, cold fact for the Virgos listening. But firstly, the fact that we are talking about BDSM, I was talking about it with 23-year-old work colleagues, and they're having these conversations about what people like and they enjoy, and this is an open thing. I think that's absolutely fantastic that the young people are doing that, and I encourage it wholeheartedly. I felt incredibly old and disheveled and like my time has passed, but I think it's amazing. But second to that, I want to mention something that is very, very close to my heart, and I'm sorry if it's off point, and I think it's loosely to do with this discussion about this time that we live in. But I'd like to talk just for a brief heartbeat about the movie Space Jam, because I've been thinking about this film for a good solid 7 days. And I don't know why, I couldn't explain it to you, but I think it also is from a kind of utopian time when cartoon characters are in a film with Michael Jordan, the famous basketball player from back in the day. And it's a mixture of, real actors like Michael Jordan and cartoon characters trying to compete in a basketball game in outer space. And I just think it's wonderful to look at these films with a fresh eye, because they make absolutely no sense. And it just came to my mind because you said the age of Aquarius. I can't think of a more Aquarian film that makes absolutely no sense. But I needed to talk about it because it's been sitting with me for a long time. So I just think Space Jam is a really fantastic film. And we live in a time where films like Space Jam hopefully are going to become more possible. I don't know where I'm going with this rant, but I just wanted to share it. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's a fair point that you made. But I also would like to tell you that there is a new Space Jam scheduled to be released at 2021. I know you say this year.
What? Are you serious?
July 16, coming to your screens, Space Jam 2, starring LeBron James.
Are you serious? You're lying.
Yeah,
I don't believe you.
No, Karen, we wanted to surprise you. Outside your door, you can open it now. LeBron James is there.
Wait,
It's coming.
so does this mean that potentially I am psychic? But unfortunately, the way that I'm psychic is by having a premonition of what films, what absurd films from the 1990s are going to be recreated with new
Well, I don't know.
characters.
I don't know if you, through the modem, the internet modem router in your room, I don't know if you created that narrative in the world where now there is a Space Jam 2, or is the fact that Space Jam 2 is being filmed has entered your brain?
This is starting to sound like my second favorite film after Space Jam, The Net, Sandra Bullock. I've mentioned it too often, but it's scaring me a little bit now. But anyway, for those who haven't seen Space Jam, it's a wonderful romp. It's a family-friendly film, and it stars Michael Jordan. And there's a lot of product placement for Nike shoes as well, because he's the famous Air Jordan shoe designer as well. And it also stars a really wonderful actor, Bugs Bunny. Doesn't feature as often as he... Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam and Tasmanian Devil and all of those friendly characters from the cartoon world who used to be my real friends.
So do you think that the Bugs Bunny, like after all these years now, he's gonna have to play the grandpa, or is he just gonna be the same age?
Whoa,
Like, is he gonna be like the mom, like Jennifer Lopez is now in all of her movies, or is he just gonna be like because he's a guy, he's just gonna be ageless?
Well, I think because the film is already, real humans playing basketball in outer space with cartoon characters. And look, back in the day, I must say a couple of years ago, the main song from that film was R. Kelly's song, I Believe I Can Fly. So I think they're obviously going to have to redo that because R. Kelly is now a sex offender. Well, he was always a sex offender, but now he is known as a sex offender. So I think they're going to have to redo that. But in terms of Bugs Bunny's aging, like we're also in the time of like Botox and facelifts, and that's also a great time to be alive. So I think he might look the same.
It's true.
I feel like
I'm sure it's gonna be a different movie. You know, Michael Jordan is an Aquarius, therefore he felt really natural, I guess, talking to all of these invisible things around him. That was later became like were added with the help of technology. But LeBron James is a Capricorn, so I don't know if they're going to have to hire actual people because Capricorns cannot understand like how, things that are not physically their work. Like
I reckon they'll start training like real bunny rabbits to play Bugs Bunny so that LeBron James has a sense of what's happening. Like he'll need to have something to hold.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? We are going to be here July 13, 2021. I'm sure we're going to still make this podcast once a fortnight. Or even if it's once a year, that's going to be the week that we're going to do it.
Yes.
And we're going to give you a full review.
Yeah.
Well, it is, as we said, Virgo month. And I think there is something that Virgos love, and that is to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Now, I know that all of you are now thinking, what? Virgos appreciated? Nah, that's Leo. La, 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 la. Yes, it's true. Virgos are the givers. They like to take care of people, and they like to, have a project to work on or to save. But they also do like to be appreciated, and they do like their job and their work to be acknowledged. They're not this kind of like selfless, I'm just going to do this and walk away, which is fair enough, And I think it's also a part of their need for clarity. So if there's a good deed, there must be a thank you. So I thought we should do like a moment of appreciation of Virgos that are just worthy of an appreciation.
Yes.
And I would like to start with Idris Elba.
Oh.
Because Idris Elba is, first of all, arguably the hottest man alive. The only person with a British accent that I actually care about. Because all the other British accents are like, I don't know, I'm not fazed by them. Neither French. I'm sorry. I know we have British listeners, but it's just like I don't know, it's an accent. I just don't think it's that sexy as everyone make it to be. But it also reminds me of, that tweet that Amanda Bynes tweet. Amanda Bynes and Aries tweeted the most Aries tweet ever, and she tweeted, "I want Drake to come and murder my vagina."
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then a few years later, when she was like asked about it in an interview, they were like, because it was told that she was having a mental breakdown, and she was tweeted that, and they asked her, "What was that tweet about?" And she said, I actually just wanted him to come and murder my vagina. I wanted to have sex with him. That's what it was about."
Wow.
And I feel like that's how I feel about Idris Elba. I just feel like I want him to come and murder my asshole. Yeah, so my equivalent of a vagina.
Wow, that's a really beautiful appreciation post for beautiful Idris.
He also is a good actor.
He's amazing, and he does an American accent well as well. I'd like to also acknowledge another Virgo who has certainly been mentioned maybe once on this podcast, but Cameron Diaz. She is a very well-known and serious actress, and she also announced her retirement recently from acting, so that was a big shift for her. And she also starred in another really absurd and horrifying film that if you recreated it in 2019, it wouldn't make sense. So in the same way that Space Jam does not make any sense when you break it down. But she starred in The Mask. So I don't know if you fast forward to 2019 and you create a show where Jim Carrey as he is now, transforms into this dancing maniac when he wears this mask that he's found at the bottom of the ocean. And obviously Cameron Diaz just plays the hot babe that she is, but it doesn't quite have the same allure that it had when that film was huge. I used to be obsessed with that film. But anyway, Cameron Diaz, beautiful Virgo.
You were talking about her other crazy movie that will never be recreated, Crazy About Mary, or whatever that name of that was.
Oh, there's something about Mary, yeah.
Something about, yeah, well, they translated it to Hebrew and they called it Crazy About Mary.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of these movies that are like, I think we've talked about it, how, like, because we grew up watching them, we, like, have these fond memories and, like, that was the childhood, but then you watch them and it's horrifying and the thing they did there. But they're here now, so we're going to watch them every now and then. I want to talk about the fact that there's a lot of funny Virgos, which I'm admitting here that I was making a joke about how Virgos are not funny because I fell into the stereotype of them just being like uptight bitches. And then I was proven wrong. There is a lot of funny Virgos, and I want to talk about someone that's called Rachel Sennott. You might not know her now, even though she has 50,000 followers on Twitter. She's definitely going to be the next, like, big, funny comedian that everyone's going to talk about. He's like, I don't know, 23 or something, and hilarious. She lives in New York. And yeah, just go follow her. Because if you're a Virgo now and you're pissed off that everyone thinks you're not funny, get on her Twitter, and every time someone says it, just like her last tweet will be funny enough for you to laugh.
All right,
yeah.
so they're
and
funny.
Her Instagram is like, I think her name is Trickly Child on Instagram.
Well, there you go. She's funny. What a funny name.
It's a very funny name.
Did you know that Pink is also a Virgo?
Yes. I did know that, and I think a good example is like, she always looked like she just got a haircut. She never...
And she is, I think there's some crazy statistic, and I hope someone can correct me on this, but I think like 10% of Australia has seen a Pink show. Like, she performs here. She used to do like 20 arena shows in a row in Australia because she has such a huge following, and people went to see her multiple times, and we're a pretty small country, so I think like probably 100,000 or more people would have seen her show, and it's a huge percentage of this country that has appreciated her. And it just shows like Virgos are pretty damn hardworking, and they are of service. So she knows she's got a big fan base here, and she just keeps performing. And she's apparently technically really fantastic. Like she is on the trapeze and she does all the flips and the dances, and
she became like a professional circus. What's the name of like someone who like a circus thing?
Oh, I don't.
She's literally trained, and then she like got flown out of a cannon and broke her ribs halfway through a show. Like she's a full-on trained circus performance artist because she wanted to do this like circus themed show. And yeah, and I went to see her and it was unbelievable, and you could tell a Virgo's work because it is always fucking to a T. Everything's in place, and I think we really did a good job talking for 55 minutes and not even saying once the name Beyonce.
Oh, here we go. I knew. I just thought we talk about her all the time, and we love her, and she's great. But
no, like my point was like not to talk about her, just to say that.
Can we talk about another Virgo who I think that is part of one of your favorite films, Leanne Rimes? Oh Coyote Ugly. Well, she's not actually in the film, but her song.
She actually is in the film, Karen.
Is she in the film? I can't. I can't remember. So Coyote Ugly, like that's a fantastic film. It's really good.
It's true. It's an amazing film. It is amazing soundtrack. You can try to resist. You can't hide from my kiss. You can hide from my kiss, but you can't fight the moonlight. So there you go. Anyway, so it's been I feel like we say it every week. It has been a roller coaster of an episode. I think we should stop saying that and just accept that this is what we are.
I know, and I'm sorry to any Virgos listening if we didn't have a very structured, rigid episode. We just have to be ourselves, but we do love you, and I'm really actually relieved that we're in this month. I think we're all going to get to work. We're all going to write lists, and we're all going to maybe be a bit more appreciative of one another. So I think it's actually a nice antidote to the Leo season that was. So I'm looking forward to it.
My original idea for this episode was to do like a list episode, and just like every topic will have a list. But obviously it didn't come true. So just sharing.
Just saying.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you for sticking around for another episode of Astrology Roast, and we'll see you on the next one.